Welcome back, everyone. We start our news block in Smyrna, where police say they need the public's help in identifying an armed robbery suspect. This robbery happened on the morning of June 13th. The suspect you see on your screen here robbed the Valero gas station on South DuPont Highway with a small handgun. The suspect is described as a man with long hair, about 6 feet tall, weighing between 220 and 240 pounds. Reports say he was last seen driving a white Suzuki XL7 with a missing gas door. The SUV also has a spare tire on the rear. Anyone with information is urged to contact Detective Bill Davis at 302-653-9217. Tipsters may remain anonymous. You can also submit tips by calling Crime Stoppers at 1-800-TIP-3333. Shifting gears now, the coronavirus pandemic has spelled trouble for some college students throughout the country. Now many are turning to community colleges as a result. 47 ABC's Anissa Lopez spoke with Warwick and Del Tech representatives about this today and has more now.
The COVID-19 pandemic is causing some people to reevaluate their plans for college. We're told some students are now rerouting to community college to get started rather than a four-year institution.
I've talked with colleagues across the nation, and they're seeing some spikes at the community colleges where students are more interested at staying at home and working.
Kristen Mallory, Vice President for Academic Affairs at Warwick Community College in Salisbury, says last May the college has seen a 32% increase in student applications for the fall. And she is glad that the campus can serve as another more affordable option for students during this uncertain time.
Students that perhaps it's not what they thought they'd have, perhaps it's not going to be that residential experience, but it's an experience for them to continue their learning.
Warwick says they are now busy preparing for this increase in students while figuring out how to keep their students safe when they return to campus for some in-person classes.
We have some classes that are actually going to have face-to-face with the teacher in one classroom and then be live streaming to the classroom right beside them.
While Warwick says they are seeing a spike in applications, Del Tech Community College says it's still too early to tell what their numbers will look like, but they are preparing just in case they do see numbers rise.
Our academic affairs team added about 20% more courses in a distance format for the fall in preparation for higher demand.
Overall, both representatives from Warwick and Del Tech say they are glad they can give people a sense of security during this time of unpredictability.
A lot of people are looking at something that they can count on, and the local community college represents quality and value.
Anissa Lopez, 47 ABC.
Now, Warwick tells us that fall classes will begin September 9th. Starting in July, though, the community college will begin offering appointments to students to help them plan for their academic future. And with that, we have an update on the number of positive COVID-19 cases across our region as cases continue to rise across the country. Maryland added 338 cases today, bringing the state's total to over 66,100. Virginia added 593 cases today, bringing the state to over 57,900 cases. Finally, Delaware added 78 cases today, bringing the state's total to just over 11,000. And when we look at our hardest hit counties, Wicomico County added 4 new cases. The county now has 1,059 cases. Accomack remains at 1,037, and Sussex County is now up to 4,519 cases. Meanwhile, the Maryland Senate Republican Caucus says it's opposed to holding a preferred mail-in election in November. The caucus sent a letter Thursday to the Maryland State Board of Elections. The letter was sent after 2 leading Maryland Democrats recommended earlier this week for the board to prepare for a hybrid mail-in preferred election due to the coronavirus. The GOP caucus cited errors and oversights in the state's June 2nd primary, which was conducted mostly by mail with some in-person voting. The caucus is now recommending in-person voting for November. They say people who are uncomfortable or unable to vote in person due to COVID-19 can vote by requesting absentee ballots. And staying in Maryland, Governor Larry Hogan announcing new funding to prevent evictions and help Marylanders affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Hogan says $20 million will be divided between all 24 jurisdictions in Maryland to help address eviction prevention needs. $10 million will go towards the Assisting Housing Relief Program, which helps bring late or unpaid fees current for tenants. The funding is available through the Federal Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Securities Act, also known as the CARES Act. The governor says this helps maximize resources to help as many renters as possible.
Brandon, I love it. You're working double duty tonight. Sports and news. Great job. All right, jumping into weather now. Our Morse Roofing and Siding Skycam. A few people on the boardwalk at this late hour, but weather-wise, it's a very quiet night. Weather watchers calling in. We have a few of them. 76 for Bud in Laurel, and 76 for Ted in Millsboro, and 77 for Chucky in Lewis. Temperatures elsewhere. Easton is still holding on to 80, 77 in Cambridge, Salisbury 74, Wallops at 75. It's going to be a warm night tonight. It's very warm to hot down into Texas. Of course, Phoenix still above 100 degrees at this hour. 69 in Great Falls, 73 in Bismarck. But back here on Delmarva, dew points, that's something we're keeping an eye on because these numbers are going to be climbing as we head into the weekend. So we're looking at a sticky and a pretty humid weekend coming up. So here's a look at that dew point trend. Again, we're looking at 65 on Saturday, tomorrow. So that means it's sticky, it's uncomfortable with a dew point of 70. So maybe some frowns on Sunday. A lot of people not liking that humidity, and it stays humid into Monday and Tuesday with those dew points in the 60s. So a real summer pattern setting up. Right now, though, there are a few clouds out there. We're watching some storms and showers to our northwest, and those are going to be diving southeast, providing us a slight chance for a few storms over the weekend. But the big story will be the heat, and overall it will be a dry weekend. Partly cloudy and nice tonight, right around 70 as we head into your Saturday. Into the 90s for most of us. Even the beaches will be pushing 90 degrees with a mostly sunny sky. And again, the slightest chance for a pop-up storm, especially north of Salisbury. A southwest wind 5 to 10 on the Chesapeake Bay. A little bit breezy on the Atlantic, 10 to 15 knot winds. And checking in on the Delaware, southwest wind 10 to 15 there. If you're heading to the beach, you picked a pretty nice weekend. Looking hot for tomorrow, mostly sunny. And then on Sunday, partly sunny, so a few extra clouds and maybe a few isolated thunderstorms, but put on the sunscreen if you're spending any outdoor time this weekend. You can burn within 15 minutes or less, with that UV index being a 10 out of 10. So overall clear as we head into Saturday, just a few clouds here and there. And there's that little chance for a shower, mainly north of Salisbury as we head into tomorrow evening. And then on Saturday, a mix of sun and clouds, or Sunday, I should say. This is when we have a little bit of a better chance of a pop-up shower pushing across the region. But overall, a dry and hot next several days with some high humidity. As we head into next week, we'll be tracking a few showers and storms on radar, I'm sure, with some extra clouds and slightly cooler temperatures by the middle of next week. What about Ocean City? Again, pretty nice beach days coming up for the next several days. Storm chances increasing a little bit next week. Brandon?
Thank you, Daniel. That's it for our news portion of the show. When we return, we're bringing you this week's top plays sponsored by Delaware Appliance. Keep it right here. This is Delmarva Sports Insider.
It's Coach Jed Bell from Woodbridge High School, and you guys are watching Delmarva Sports Insider.